What up, everybody? Aloha Friday. Feel
It's
good
Aloha
Friday.
Friday. No work till Monday. No
Right.
work till Tuesday.
No
Yeah.
work till
It's Aloha
Tuesday.
Friday. Yeah, because of Memorial Day. Aloha no, everyone. Welcome. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a beautiful, hot, Vela day today. But you know what? We take the good with the bad. And we just thank God that we have our lives to live. And want to welcome you all here tonight to this another exciting Feel Good Friday, a special Feel Good Friday with none other than the University of Hawaii Rainbow Warriors volleyball coach, men's volleyball coach,
All right,
Charlie Wade.
guys. That's supposed to be on volleyball coming about 400 miles an hour. I should have used green for UH. And I had to depart from the tradition of the Aloha shirt, Charles. I apologize because I think at one time I thought I had a UH Aloha shirt, but I don't know where it is. So I had to go to the next best thing. And in honor of tonight's guests, Coach Charlie Wade. It's going to be a fun night tonight. Uh, and they're having a very special event tomorrow at Puhi Park, the Grove Farm Park. In fact, Mr. Haruki may be making a surprise visit tonight to share with us what's going to happen tomorrow. To be a special program. I will be there. I'm not sure about Charlie, but poor Charlie is he's working his okole off right now. Um, And I appreciate you taking a short break, Charlie, from your important work for come share tonight with our viewers. But I will be
Welcome.
there tomorrow. We will live stream the event, the program. Hopefully, we can get a good signal, and we'll bring that live to you folks tomorrow as well. So, Charlie, you can watch from work. Poor soul, man.
Whew.
I feel for you, bro.
Well, it's funny, eh? The mind think young, but who the body, they creaking right now. But we shared this views for several days now. It's so hard to get workers, but sometimes we have to make sacrifices, and those are just the things that comes with the territory. But again, folks, we want you to all share tonight's special segment of the Mel and Charlie show because it's not often we get high profile sports individuals that has made the news, especially winning an NC2A title this year.
National championship.
Yes,
I am
it's not
stoked.
often. Yes, very.
Nani is saying we get the kung fu movie action. The words coming out different. I don't know. I'm seeing you fine, Charlie. You see me okay, or is the
No, unless the the closed captioning coming out in Afghanistani language or something.
go ahead and
So
share the button,
we are,
hit the button, hit the button. We'll bring Coach Wade in real quick in a little bit. Just want to say everybody, thank you guys for always sticking by us. I know tonight we get graduations going on. I know Patsy's watching the live stream of the graduation out at the Anohola School, the Hawaiian Immersion School, Kanio Kapono. So I understand a lot of people busy, but appreciate you guys always jumping on board with us. And for those that are watching the
mhm.
replay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said today, we try to do the Feel Good Fridays, and the timing was perfect for Coach
Mm.
Wade, and I'm excited to hear his story, man. I got to tell you, um, I'll let him explain the journey, but they were undefeated to the end, that last during the playoffs, and then they lost the match, and oh my God! But Coach Wade, he just had a way of motivating his team, and they came right back and kicked Okole and came home with the gold. So what a great story for UH! What a great story for Hawaii! and we're excited to have him on tonight. So
Brother, I guess, I still haven't learned how to turn off the closed captioning. I see the three dots went there. I don't have any closed captioning feature
really,
on my, yeah, to close it off. But what the folks are saying is the closed captioning is being obscured. It's like letters coming across the screen, but all white.
okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do this. Um, you tap the picture, and there's these three dots right here.
Okay. So I'm sorry. You tap the picture.
And then if you look on the, sorry about the lights, but you can see right there where it says turn off captions.
Okay. You tap the picture and get the three dots, right?
Yeah, hit the three dots and then go down till you see turn off captions.
Okay. Turn off caption. Bam. Okay. And there you go. The captions are off.
Yeah. So if everybody can do that, unless you want it, uh,
But you're gonna get dizzy because if you watch it, you're gonna be thinking that we're saying that's what it looks like. But you see, I turned it off. I did it. You can always teach an old dog new tricks. So ta-da, it's done. Okay, perfect.
okay, Laurel is saying, speaking of graduation, did you see on Kauai Community? I guess that's the Facebook page, Kauai Community. Someone is taking up a collection for the grads that didn't buy their yearbook. Perhaps many couldn't afford. Kauai Community page, guys, go check it out if you can help out. Yeah, I'll go check it out. I will go check it out. All right, you ready, Charles?
I'm ready can be, brother.
Let us bring in Coach Charlie Wade and Mr. Warren Haruki from Grove Farm. Oh boy, look at that
There
face.
he is.
Look at that face. He's mad. He's angry. Oh, he cannot hear us yet. Oh, now he can hear us.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, coach, you gotta ease up, buddy. You gotta be smile. It's Aloha Friday, my friend. You're a national champion. You gotta be excited. You gotta be happy about being on this show, my man.
It's all good, brother.
Coach, thank
Good,
you so
good.
much for joining us tonight, man. I think you got a bunch of fans here in Kauai and throughout the state. And Charlie and I was just the other Charlie. That's Charlie Iona, the Hawaiian Charlie. We were just talking about how proud and honored we are to have you on our show, and what you did this year was just remarkable
Yeah.
considering the challenges. And hope we get a chance to talk about that tonight. And Warren Haruki,
Yes,
President, CEO,
sir.
Grove Farm, and he's at the canyon. Looks like he's at Napali Coast tonight.
Out with the goats.
Warren, thank you so much. We spoke a little bit about tomorrow's event. We'll let you share with that. But Coach, how you doing, my friend? Are you on Kauai or are you still on Oahu?
I'm on Oahu, the windward side.
Windward side, beautiful side. All right. So I guess let's just get right into it, Coach. Share with us. Well, share with us a little bit about yourself first, and how you ended up as the UH coach, and then we'll talk about your journey through this challenging year.
Yeah. So I came to Hawaii in 1995. I'd been sending players to play for Dave Shoji for a while, and in at the Junior Olympic tournament in July of '95, he took me to dinner and said, "I need you to come out." And at that time, it was only for 4 months. That was it. That I was coming in to train the team, and it turned out to be a little longer than 4 months. So I was with Shoj for 11 years, and then ended up being the head coach at another school in California for 3, and now this is just finished my 12th year as the head coach with the men.
Wow. Wow, and what a year it's been. I know UH has always seen success. I mean, a lot of Charlie and I were talking about the Shoji area with the women's volleyball, and then you came on board and really made some good things happen for UH. And this year was very challenging, and we watched you all face these challenges with COVID and protocols, and social distancing and all of these things canceled, no fans, and what I mean, how do you keep a team focused and motivated during a time like this, coach?
Yeah, I mean, first, we're talking about exceptional young men that are goal oriented, highly motivated, and they've been really dedicated, to their craft and to the program the entire time they've been here. So, when we got shut down last March, we just said, look, this is not anything anybody would wish on themselves or their opponents even, but we got a choice how we're going to come out of this. We're either going to stay the same, or some people are going to come out of this worse, and we think we're positioned to come out of it better. So the guys just stayed focused, and all the protocols and stuff that were put in place just to keep everybody safe. And we're very proud that we're one of, if not the only, one of very few teams that made it through the entire year without any positive cases on our team. The guys really bought into doing everything they could. So yeah, it was a challenging year. The fans we were always hopeful that the fans were going to be a part of it. As it got towards the end, since we were hosting the Big West tournament, and we kind of just said, well, it's out of our control. We're really not going to worry that much about it. But then, as it went on, we played more matches in the Stan Sheriff Center. That's a 10,000 seat arena. And when you're playing in there with nobody, it just got kind of funky, and it really. For us, obviously it really kind of hit home on the match against San Diego. We're playing in the Big West tournament, and previously those are sold out crowds, and San Diego was playing great, a really good team. We just didn't play that well that night, and they ended up winning, and that really, gave us the opportunity. Two things: one, can't take your foot off. You got to be fully committed the entire time. And the second thing was just how important the fans are. We were kind of kidding ourselves saying, oh, we can do it. This is more like being on the road because, that's now everybody plays. But we really missed having those fans there. And I thought it was a big boost for us in Columbus when there were real voices and real faces and the people that we care and love, and people that just from Hawaii that had traveled there, people from all over the Midwest who live in that area that just wanted to come and support us. So it really was great. It was a big part of us winning in Columbus.
I would like to say also and congratulate you, sir, that, looking at the maturity of your players, I'm always in awe when you see a group of players that can play well. When they score points, they compose themselves, because like sometimes, like in other sports like football, right? You make one touchdown and you do all the happy dances and all that, but pal, you got to play until the whistle blows and the game's over. Now's not the time to be making a number one, that type of thing. And I've noticed that about your players. They're very well disciplined on the floor. They do a slight celebration, but nothing over the top, where they know that they still got some more minutes to play until that final buzzer goes. Then, you can celebrate and do whatever you want. But I'm very, very impressed by that. So credit to
Thank you.
sir.
It's something, like I said, these are impressive young men. And we do talk about, like, it's a balance between, and again, these are, teenagers and 20-something-year-old dudes where, they're pretty excitable, but it's got to kind of make sense, right? It's got to be relevant. You can celebrate like it's the national championship when it's the national championship. You score on a point early in a set against, a team in the middle of the season, act like you've done it before, right? So keep the celebrations, like I said, where they're kind of relevant to the situation. And there's a part too about respecting your opponent and respecting the game. We want to be entertaining and be really into it, but that balance between being cerebral, where you're really kind of thinking in the moment, and really passionate and competing at a high level.
Okay. Thank
Mr.
you.
Haruki is patiently over there, and I know he's an avid University of Hawaii fan, huge fan, and we will get to him in a moment about tomorrow. But one of the things, Coach, and you touched on a little bit, you have these teenagers, you have these young men that's been penned up and corralled up and not able to do what they normally do and not able to celebrate after a victory with the friends and the family. I mean, the protocol kept everybody kind of in check. Did you have any issues at all? Did you? I mean, what we only see you on the court. What do you tell these guys after the game? How do you keep them positively motivated and yet letting them know as a coach, somewhat as a parent almost, you guys got to behave. You got to
Yeah,
behave. You know,
yeah.
how do you do that? I coach
There's certainly,
I coach the Pop Warner, and that, you expect that out of little children, but these are young adults.
yeah, and there's certainly a fair amount of parenting that goes on throughout. Yeah, and again, it's about teaching them life lessons, and really, we've kind of laid the groundwork over years of what it means to be a part of the program and to represent the state. And you're not just any college kid. You can't just do what all your other friends and classmates and stuff are doing as a college student. You are a role model in the community, and you're representing the state and the university. And so there's a level of responsibility with that. And we're trying to sell that to guys coming out of high school, because we don't want guys that thinking they're going to come here and college is going to be a time where they're going to blow off steam and kind of experiment and go on. It's like, we want guys that are focused and ready to look, act, think, and be professionals in every part of their life.
Is there a like a special team that works with you? Because I noticed that a lot of your players are from foreign parts, Europe, those kind of places that instill some of the builds a cultural bridge. Because I'm pretty sure if they come here for the first time, they've heard about the University of Hawaii, but as far as living here, that must be a culture shock. Do you have a team that works with you to kind of ease them in to say, hey, this is what happened. This is what Hawaii life is all about. You'll be working with other ethnic groups that you might be, even when you're boarding. So do you have a team like that works with you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, we have a pretty defined, and I really think it's one thing that if I watch college coaches over time, that anyone that's hired as a coach at this level knows the game, right? They know the ball, they can go to practice and do stuff. But where they miss out is it is the culture building, and it's having a message and having things that define you and that the guys can buy in and believe. And we've been fortunate. We've worked with Judge Thomas Kalakukui as someone that helped me kind of, I've had this kind of leadership model that we've used, and he's helped me kind of rebrand it, because I think it's really important to teach the guys Hawaiian language and about Hawaiian culture, and so we've been really fortunate to have him come in at the start of, we haven't been able to do it every year, but most years. So, the guys in their time in the program have been through it a couple times. You see on the floor after the national championship, the guys did their ha'a that they've learned. They do it every game without fail, no matter where we are before the game. And they really have embraced the fact that they represent Hawaii. And, and for me, I think it's really important that we teach them, like I said, about Hawaiian language, about Hawaiian culture, and what that means. You can be a fierce competitor, but you have to be humble and you have to respect your opponent. So it really has been a collaborative effort over time, and the guys have really bought in.
Okay.
Mr. Haruki, mega UH fan, what were your thoughts when you? I know everybody was looking forward to that championship game, and I mean, I remember when you were undefeated, then you lost a match, and it was kind of like, oh my gosh, what happened? And everyone had expected, well, I did anyway, that it'd be a perfect season right through. And Warren, what were your thoughts after that loss, and then later finding out that they got at the top seeds, or one of the top seeds, and then going into the championship game? What did you think, Warren?
Well, I think Charlie knows this, but going back to December 2019, he graciously came to Kauai for our Christmas gathering at Iliahi, and we told him then, there's still some unfinished business. They were very close, and then 2020 was a year that was beyond everybody's control with COVID. we all were very, very hopeful. We're thankful that all these guys chose to come back. I mean, it's incredible that, some of these guys had not been home for 2 years. So everybody was very hopeful. As the season progressed and they were undefeated, we continued to build hope. And then the San Diego State, in my mind, that probably was a good wake up call. When you get to the national championship, it's generally about the teams that are peaking, but nonetheless, everybody was super on edge and just hopeful. I watched this thing after the first game. So okay, one down. The second game, okay, one more. You always think that something's going to happen, but it was maybe not for Charlie, but for just the fan, it was quite a easy victory. So we were all very, very happy. Within 10, 15 minutes of the game being done, I text David Lasner, President David Matlin, and Charlie to offer congratulations and also to invite them to have a community celebration here on Kauai. We don't have a lot of stuff happening. I think for Charlie or football coaches, Ganat for basketball. UH sports is so important for an island like us, and there's a huge following. So the only one downside of this whole year is the fact that, like Charlie mentioned, they play without fans for for pretty much all the way through, except for the NCAA's. But tomorrow is an event where fans can come out. We will have tables set up for them. We will observe social distancing. We have a program that is scheduled to roll out with speakers. The county council has a proclamation. The mayor will be there, Senate President, the 3 members of the House of Representatives, other community leaders, as well as the Mel and Charlie show live. So come on out. Texaco will have a putting event where people can attempt to sink a putt, and your name would go in a drawing for $50 Texaco gift cards, gas cards. There'll be giveaways from many of our sponsors, and we're also holding it in conjunction with our weekly Grow Farm Market. So there's a lot of stuff to buy, fresh produce, food. I mean, both Mel and Charlie often stop by to patronize the vendors there. So we're thinking Charlie's going to be a large event, and it's the first time that the community really can come out. This no mask policy in the public just came out as well. So all of those things put together, a great event to celebrate the championship, the Grow Farm Market, and kind of like a slight loosening, but we're still going to adhere to social distancing. We have a lot of areas roped off. We want to keep the players safe, the community safe. So we have about 25, 30 people that are going to be trying to monitor that distancing.
Well, we're looking forward to that. And by the way, guys, if you haven't pressed that share button, Coach, that's supposed to be a volleyball. I'm a horrible artist, but that was supposed to be a volleyball. Traveling at about 250 miles an hour, which is about how fast your guys hit the ball. Go ahead and hit it.
Coach, because I'm not a good sketch artist like Mel, I don't attempt. I just keep it simple. So here, this is as simple as it gets.
Right on.
Hey, Coach,
I wanted to.
Oh, go ahead, Charlie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. One thing that I observed, especially in sports, my cousin played football for the University of Hawaii, then went on to the NFL. But many of these guys, I guess when they go into the pros, like many of the players that you've had in the past that goes into, especially European leagues, right? Italy, play volleyball, play in the pros. We normally don't get to hear their successes there unless they're just over the top and their name gets splattered. It's just like soccer. If your name gets like a Becker, that type, you just get over the top, right? How is exposure for many of your players after college life when they do go in the pro ranks?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to be a fan, right? You got to try to track it a little bit because it's not going to be on just regular media. But I think every pro team has like a Facebook page and where you can access certainly they have like a team website, and then the leagues themselves. Taylor Averill, who finished with us in 2015, he was the best player in France this year as a middle, which is hard to do. He's going to be one of the very last, and hopefully he makes it for the roster in Tokyo. He played today for the U.S. team against Canada, and we still have guys playing all over the world. But like I said, you got to kind of know where they're at and find them. If you run just a search engine on someone's name, you probably would get a link to where the first one will come up is probably their UH page, because there's just been more, but I think you can find where they're playing professionally. This group of guys that just left, Patrick Assman is going down to Brazil and playing on what's been the best team down there. Rado is playing on the best team in Serbia, the Champions League team, which is going to be a really high level. Gage Worsley will be in Bulgaria playing professionally. And who am I leaving out? Oh, Colton Cowell. He's going to go to France, although we have had some rough news for him in the last week or so. He's going to have shoulder surgery imminently. But he's big, strong, young guy, and he'll be diligent on the rehab, and he'll be back playing sooner than later.
What, as at the next level, and because I am not aware, I mean, we know that they do. We hear that they go on to play pro ball. What's the pay like? What's the compensation like for pro volleyball players once they leave college sports? Is it something that they can survive on?
I mean, if you're full top of the food chain, one of the best players in the world, I mean, you can make over $1 million a year. Okay. The top guys in Europe, and then I mean, there's not many of those, maybe less than a dozen total. Then there's a lot of guys, or another group that's maybe making six figures from 100 to 300,000. A lot of the Asian leagues will pay that much to the top players. You can make $300,000-$400,000 a year. Most of these guys coming out of college, they're going to get on the low end maybe 20,000 to, let's call it 40 to 60,000. But it's a 6-month season, and that typically will include a car, a place to live, some, not all meals, but a lot of meals. So they're really able to pocket most of the money, and and it just depends how long their career goes and how far they advance.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, asking Warren this question. Your involvement with sports, sir, do you think we could maybe entice the university? Like a lot of these baseball teams, they have a place where they work out off season, just so the fans can come out and watch them. Do you think it would be maybe something like that can happen for Kauai? Because I know they talked about it in the past of I know at one time they did bring the volleyball team over to Kauai High School. They did a exhibition at the gym there. And I know in speaking to some people that attended that, they really loved it. But I think we need more. What's your thought on that?
I think that's a great suggestion, Charlie. We unfortunately, I had to chair this University of Hawaii Athletic Department committee, and I think we started meeting in August of last year. Our goal was to try to come up with revenue generating ideas or expense savings to overcome this $9 million budget deficit that athletics had. And you can only cut so much. You have a lot of required travel, you have coaches' salaries. University of Hawaii has to pay travel subsidies, believe it or not, for people to, teams to fly to Hawaii. The Mountain West requires that of the football. So a lot of our efforts focus on the revenue generating side. And this is not relevant to Kauai per se, but using the Stan Sheriff Center and attracting teams like the Lakers would come and play an exhibition game. That brings in a lot of money to UH, like a couple $100,000. So it's also a revenue generating idea. The teams love to play in Hawaii. And if we can find more like that, exchanges between Asia and Hawaii, there's a lot of synergies there's a huge amount of interest in, different sports for different countries. So we just need to take advantage. For Kauai, we have, we have facilities that are underutilized. It's just utilized very, very few days or weeks in an entire year. So why not take advantage? Bring them here. The teams that come here, as you mentioned, they take away a lot, not only from the sports aspect, but from, getting to meet people here, learning the culture, and that's a lifetime bridge that is formed. So sports can be a huge cultural ambassador for the state and for Kauai. So I would encourage that. It's something that our government leaders ought to pursue.
Hey, coach, I got a question. Again, like aside from the beach volleyball games that people play after they've had a few beers, and I've never played any kind of formal organized volleyball. But when you go to a game, like in a football game, you got X amount of plays, and you call the play depending on what the defense is showing, or vice versa. In volleyball, in college volleyball, when you show up with your opponent that you've scouted for a while, how many plays that is it? What's an average number of plays that you and your staff have to play with for that specific match? Is there a system like that? We get X amount of plays, and then you're swapping them out as the
No,
game progresses.
it's a little more organic than that in terms of plays. It really comes down to like each guy is, and then based on the position they play and where they're on the floor, some people are better hitting a faster set or a higher set, and some people are better hitting, just a ball in a different position, of front court, back court. So you try to maximize what they're good at, and obviously the more players you have that can do a lot of things, the best is really high and really hard, because then nobody can slow you down. And then you can actually kind of simplify it. You don't have to do a lot of fancy stuff. You can just make sure they're getting a good swing and they get their feet to it. Because when you're hitting at the top of the antenna, there are not many people up there that can defend it. So mathematically, it would be just a crazy number how many different kind of plays are possible. And really, for us, we let our setter. We have discussion about how we want to attack them and what we know how we want to run the offense going into it, but we let him, in the moment, because the ball is also moving too. And you can't just call a play, because if the ball ends up in a different place on the floor, then you don't have those options. So there's a lot of audibleizing, and the setter just has to be able to create on the run.
No, that's what I was thinking, because the damn thing is moving so quickly. It's not like you have okay, let's call a 34 power or something like that. It's like, how you coach a bunch of guys. And I hear many coaches saying, and I believe this, that it's as a coach, you'd rather have an athlete or an athlete with less ability but more drive and coachability. Is that true for you? Would you rather have your teammates or your team members that are coachable and have a real heart to win and to play to the best ability, versus the I know the ideal would to have a little of both, but you had some highly talented athletes this year. I mean, these guys were top in the country. Were they equally as coachable and motivated?
Yeah, it's got to be the buy-in first, and we are fortunate, and it is the best of both worlds. Like I said, these guys are fully bought in, and you are talking about, in terms of their play, the best of the best on a global level. There's guys, whether they're from the U.S. or from another part of the country, that they're playing and representing their country at the highest level in the world, and they have proven and learned to be team first guys and to do everything they can to help the team win. And then the accolades, the kind of adoration comes after that. But the first and most important thing is, taking care of your body and your kind of space on the floor, and making sure that, you're the best situation to play at the highest level. And if you can contribute to the team, that's always the most important thing.
I just wonder, watching your players hitting balls at in excess of I don't know how much. All I know it's a blur. But when you get stung a couple of times right over the right eyebrow, what do you tell them? Like, hey, shake it off, shake it off. Okay, it'll get better, it'll get better. And I always think one night Mel and I was laughing about it because I said, yeah, shake it off, you'll get better. But by then, your right eye will be completely closed. So I don't know. What do you tell your players when they're blasting balls that seems like it's traveling in excess of Mach 1 speed on that floor? And this year, I've never seen any of your players because there's sometimes that if you watch a game, you can see the speed of the ball kind of like slowing down, when the latter part of the plays, it starts to maybe not as much heat on the ball, but it seems like every single ball that went up and got crushed is like, boys, heat after heat after heat. So
yeah, you gotta. I mean, it's just a byproduct of like our practice gym. The level's so high that you learn. And we do from time to time step on the floor against somebody that maybe they can't create in their practice gym what we have, and you will see them get surprised and take one. Once in a while, it's a blocking miscommunication too, where you were supposed to take the line and you dropped into the angle and left the line unobstructed, and so the guys taking it. The guys that are the line diggers once in a while get that play, but they've played long enough too, where typically they can get their hands up because it is moving really fast. But it's not digital, right? It's not press the button. It still is traveling. And if they're watching and paying attention, they have the reaction time to defend themselves, to either drop their head down or get their hands up.
Well, I guess they call that age because I tried that one time that my brain says react and I went up, but it was already done. The damage was done. So I don't know where was the disconnect in that period of time.
Well, Charlie and I did put out the challenge for tomorrow, and unfortunately, Charlie cannot be there. But we did put out the challenge that Charlie and I would take on two of your best that's here on Kauai tomorrow in a match right there at Puhi Park. But unfortunately, Charlie will not be able to be there.
Hey,
I tell you, man, we were gonna bring that goal to Kauai, and I was looking.
Mel has this assertion that we're going to play well, and I'm glad he thinks that way. But I kept on telling him throughout the night, my vertical leap is lucky less than 4 inches. So I said, we've got a bit of a problem there, bud.
It was gonna be a good match. I can promise you that. We had probably 2,000-3,000 people coming just to watch that. But Coach, I gotta ask.
Laughed at us.
You should have seen our viewers. They were posting comments like, "Oh no, we love you guys. I'll be there with the oxygen tanks." Oh, come on.
Bring the headgear.
Yeah, Coach, I got to ask you. One of the the best moments for me personally this season was when when the crowd noise was piped up, and you and I for the life of me can't remember what team, but you and the coach got into a little discussion about the noise. You remember that?
Yeah, I vaguely remember something about that. Crowd noise is not, we like real crowd noise.
I know, but it was. I know it's. And I apologize if that's the problem with this show. Everything's unscripted, so. But I thought it was. I thought you handled it well. I really did, and I think that it was unfortunate for that coach to complain about crowd noise, but you recovered quite quickly. And what is the difference between the fake noise and the true crowd noise?
The piped in stuff is just like white noise, right? I mean, we did it. We went to Irvine, they had it, and it's just kind of this din. It wasn't anything close to, like I said, real voices and real faces, and there's just that mana, that energy that you get from real people. So you could turn it up as loud as you want. I don't think it's a distraction. Not like having real fans there cheering for you.
A lot of it is time related. When a good play is made, the sound's supposed to come when it's supposed to come. But when you just get noise, most of the time it's like, When you make a bad play, you got noise like, yeah. You make a good play, you get, yeah. So you wonder to yourself, yeah, am I doing good or bad? Which one is it? One of those things. But I wanted to ask you, Warren. Um, you spoke about the fundraising ability, right? To generate to make up for the shortfalls. Is there anything in the pipeline going forward, knowing that there will be some deficits involved in trying to achieve those goals, and how can the people, get behind it? If
Well, I think the one area that we benchmark in many, many areas for this committee. And to be honest, one of the areas where Hawaii benchmarks low is the amount of fan support in the way of direct donations. We compare it against the Big West and also the Mountain West. We looked at the Power Five is just in a different league, but we did many, many, many benchmark studies, and that's one area where it's very low. Hawaii has, like we talked about, a huge amount of built-in additional costs. A lot of places you can bus the teams. You cannot bus across 2,500 miles of ocean. So we have that downside. We also have very, very high labor loadings. The state employee retirement system is very costly. So for every dollar of payroll, they are hit with something like 62, 63% of loadings. So wherever you happen to look, there's, high costs. So our focus was on trying to get more people in the seat. I mean, they call it butts in the seats. And if you take football and you say, the crowds have been quite low. So let's say if you were to add 10 or 15,000 more fans in each football game, that's a significant amount of revenue. Over the course of a season, it could be, $3 million more. So it's that kind of stuff. The arena events are generally packed, and I don't know the numbers for sure, but for both Charlie and uh, the women's volleyball team, they must be leading the nation in terms of attendance for those kind of sports. Baseball has a lot of fans as well, but the University of Hawaii also has a very low amount of television revenues that are being shared from the networks and programming. Some of the schools, the Power Five schools, they're getting like $45 million a year in, let's say the SEC network or the Big Ten network, that kind of Pac-12 network. And ours is way down. It's in the couple $1 million range. So there's opportunities all around, but I would say the best thing is, the fans can support the school, show up at games, buy the apparel, and also, find it in their hearts to give a donation. That's the part that they can do. All of the other things are structural that the athletic department administration and the state of Hawaii, they need to work on that.
Okay.
Ultimately, you want the coaches to coach and the players to play.
By
Right.
the way, are we going to have any apparel available for purchase tomorrow at the event?
We do not have any apparel unless the guys that are coming over from Honolulu can, get a bunch over to us. We can easily sell them. We do have a lot of sponsors that are providing giveaways. So everybody that comes through, as long as the supplies last, they will be getting something for showing up. So the event starts at 10, and we hope that there's going to be a big crowd. We hope people that also who patronize the market will also happen to just spend some time and come over and congratulate the team.
Hey, Coach,
Well, the weather.
with the national championship now, does that increase the TV time? Does it increase the games being televised in the upcoming year, or is that already has been made prior to the championship being determined? Is that something that UH may benefit from?
Those decisions are made above my pay grade. But I would think, as we have been on kind of an ascendant phase. Yeah, we've gotten better, and the crowds have gotten better, and more people coming out and supporting, and which would correlate to more fan interest overall. So I would think that the television partners recognize that. I mean, most of our home games have been on. So does it mean there's going to be an increase in that? Maybe. Then I know there's always a Title IX component, and they have to kind of balance where they're putting all their revenues. But certainly, as our team's been more successful, there's been more support and more exposure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think the interest is definitely stepped up a notch after you win a national championship. It's impressive.
So, Coach, is there some hidden talent that you see that might be coming towards Hawaii's way that the rest of us may not know about? Because I remember way back when they talked about Yuval Katz, I said, "Who the heck is that?" And it comes to find out this guy's from Israel, right? And he's just. I remember even back when it was way before when we had the Fab Five, and Warren, you remember those times, the Fabulous Five, and one of the players got married to my cousin, John Pennebaker, and he was like really almost a freak of nature because he could skywalk. I mean, for a guy that's 6'4" and he's leaping, out leaping guys even way taller than him. Coach, is there someone over the horizon that you folks are looking at to try to bring in?
Well, we're always looking for talent. We've been the NCAA shut down all recruiting last March, and it will be we are able to go back out on June 1st.
Okay.
So, and the rules limit me a little. I know I can talk about our recruiting stuff, but there is the son of a gal that played for the Wahine, and she was really popular in the 80s and was a All-American, 6'4" with a big smile. Everybody loved her. She has a son who's 7 feet tall now and playing volleyball at a pretty high level. So I'll be sitting in their living room on Tuesday of next week, just to talk story and catch up, and hopefully be able to bring the boy here. It's harder and harder for us to find players, high school kids coming out of high school who can walk in and play, because we've got guys that have been in the program for years. I think one of the things you'll see, there are some guys in our program right now who, because of redshirt and because of COVID, they were freshmen for the third year. Wow. So we have guys that are graduating and still have like 3 years of eligibility. We have almost everybody in the program that's been here a while either has already walked out with a master's or is going to. So that part's exciting to see them get their education. But some of those guys now are, when you get in your 5th and 6th year, you're an adult man. You're so much better than some kid coming out of high school. So guy like Alakai Todd, who was a freshman on our team, and he didn't play much because he was the backup to Ratto. We'll see. The other guy that was the backup to Ratto last year is a Greek player named Demetrius Muklius, and he'll be back as a freshman again. But those are high level players. Alakai touched 11.9 in the fall. The top of the net's 8 feet. So 11.9 is a big number. It's way above the top of the antenna. And he's gotten stronger and he's worked harder. And so I think the fans are really going to enjoy seeing guys like that as we go forward, step up and contribute. And the other thing that we are getting an interest in, COVID, gave everybody another year of eligibility. So there's guys that are graduating and have eligibility. We are going to add another middle blocker next year who's, again, the son of a former men's player, All-American, and he was a 4-year starter on his college team, 6'8" middle, that'll be joining the program in the fall. So, you can never have too many good players. We're always looking for more talent, and, there's a lot of excitement and momentum around the program. So we continue to add people that we think are going to keep us playing at the highest level.
And the only reason I asked it because, even now I'm getting excited just thinking about it, And I think if the fans start getting that hype, we get the hype early. It's like, okay, now we got some things to look forward to. Let's go for it, and just getting everybody involved. I think tonight, I hope our viewers out there, we just want everybody to get involved. And our viewership now has gone completely across the entire state. So I'm pretty sure the word's getting out. There's things to look forward to.
Right on.
There's a lot of exciting things.
I got contacted within the last week or so by a guy that I know that's involved in volleyball at a high level, and there's a team in Argentina that wants to come in October. And so we're in just preliminary discussion, see if it's possible for them to come out and then play a formal match in the arena, actually get back and play. And that would be a great opportunity for people to see, some of the young players. We played our match for the national championship with 2 freshmen and a sophomore in the lineup. So it wasn't like it's a complete rebuild. We got a lot of good players in the program, but just really looking forward to an opportunity to get out and actually play in the arena in front of fans again would be such a great way. And the discussion now is like, would that be the good time to have like a banner ceremony, and finally hang that national championship banner in the arena. So there is a lot of excitement around the program. The future's bright.
Someone's asking, Kiala from the Big Island is asking if we will see Devon Johnson this year from Westlake Village. I don't know how much you can talk about, Coach, because of the NCAA rules, but does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, he's one of those guys that was a freshman again. He hasn't really played much in his career, and I think he's at a bit of a crossroads. He's those guys, they come in and you work really hard for a couple of years, and you got to make a decision. Are you going to continue to grind without really seeing if you're going to get court time, right? A guy like Colton Cowell didn't get significant playing time till he was in his 4th year in the program. And look, we ask a lot of them. Everybody loves the idea of being a high level player and playing in the Stan Sheriff Center, but the lifestyle is something different where you're 24/7, 365, and you're committed to your body and your game and your grade point average. And, he comes from a great family and is a really good volleyball player. The kid's 6'6" and can play at a high level. In our practice gym, he's still, down the depth chart a little bit. And then, has got to keep plugging away and putting the time in to get himself in a position to contribute statistically, to get on the court and actually play.
It's tough. I mean, it's not like a football team where you have 11 and 11. You got a huge roster, and man, volleyball, you just got very limited spots on the court. And when you're playing for a top team like UH, there's a chance that you may be a very good volleyball player, but you see very little court time because of the level of talent on your team. That's got to be frustrating for a lot of kids, I would assume.
Yeah, and it's the other significant difference, and this is sometimes the fans don't understand, like, why you never put that guy in? Like, he's pretty good. The women have 12, and it might even be 15 now, 15 substitutions per set and unlimited at position. So they can just keep running people in and out. Big kid in the front, little kid in the back. They can do it all night in every set. On the men's game, it's only 6 total substitutions and only once in and once out. So once you go in the game and you come out, you're done. You can't keep going back and in and out. So it is a pretty significant difference, and it does limit the opportunity for playing time.
The 1 in, 1 out, that's per match. If you substitute a player,
set.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's how volleyball is played everywhere in the world. Really, the only one, like men, women, everyone plays that way. Those are the rules. That the collegiate game and the high school game in the U.S. is the only place that has these 12, 15 subs and unlimited, and the libero gets to serve. That only happens, like I said, in the women's game and in the high school game. Everywhere else in the world, 6 in, 6 out, or 6 total, once in, once out, and the libero never serves.
Wow. That's incredible. That makes it difficult. That makes it difficult for the coach.
Yeah, well, so if you can ask any of our guys, like, if you want to play more, play better. If you want to play better, work harder. And then who plays? the best players play. So if you're shooting to be like the 5th or 6th outside hitter, yeah, you're not going to play. You may never play. You have to try to be the best because the best players play. So if you're the best outside hitter, you're the best middle blocker, yeah, you're going to play. Yeah, you get to go in.
So Warren, tomorrow we anticipate that there'll be a large gathering to come and see these guys, along with the market that you have there every weekend. We know right now, as it is, sometimes parking gets a little tight. Will they be opening up the parking over at the college site for this event?
Yes, you're a very good straight man, Charlie. I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot to say that. Kauai Community College has agreed to that. We also got great support from the Kauai Police Department. They will be giving us 6 officers to help with traffic control, crowd control. So there'll be a lot of support. And maybe about a month or so ago, we opened about another 100 parking stalls very close to the market. So, right in the proximity of the market, we probably have close to 240, 250 stalls. But then across the highway, just lots more. And it's just a short walk. So, yeah, good question. Thank you. I forgot to mention that.
Well, I'm just, and I'm glad you mentioned the Kauai Police Department because it is a walk across a major highway. So I just want to make sure that for those of you that are planning to go out tomorrow, please just use caution. Follow if KPD is going to be doing some of the traffic control there, just follow instructions, keep an eye on the light, and don't assume that because you have the right to walk that the driver saw you. Wait until all traffic stops before you start to move on the road, because sometimes once it's bingo, it's too late. So let's just use caution. Thank you, Mel.
Hey, Coach, and we'll let you go. I know you got a long day tomorrow. You're traveling to Kauai, and we appreciate that. How long before? I know the coach's job never ends, but when does your season start again? When do your players report back, and when does the preseason or camps? How long is a break for these athletes?
Well, there's when we are able to start getting in front of them, which won't be until the fall. But I'll tell you, they've been on campus this past week, and like the guys that are coming to Kauai tomorrow, they've been going in the weight room at like 7 o'clock in the morning for an hour and lifting, and then by 8 o'clock they're over in our practice gym in Gym 1 and just practicing on their own and getting reps. So it doesn't really ever stop. We're always, as coaches, we're always out recruiting and and trying to build the program, and the players are fully committed. These guys they took maybe a few days off, and then it's just right back at it, and because you can never be too fast or too strong or too well skilled. So the journey and the process continues.
Awesome. Any more questions for the coach, Charlie?
No, I'm just grateful he came on tonight, and I'm sorry I'm going to miss out, but at least I had my 5 minutes of fame just talking to him right here on this show. So thank you very much, Coach Wade.
You're very
it
kind.
very much.
Thank you for having me. That's Manoheali'i shirt you're wearing?
Yes.
That's a nice garment there. We're kind of in discussion with them now of having us wear their garments next year. I'm a big fan also. And they're here in Kailua, where I live.
Yeah, right there, right off of Oniava, right? Or across from that area. Yeah. Right.
That's all Uncle Charlie wears is Manueli'i, and as you can see, I get the UH polos.
You get the Manueli'i and you slap the H on them. I got some in my closet right now. I got to take.
Yeah, because that's because you're Coach Wade. You can go into Manueli and say, I want a UH Manuel, whatever, and they'll make one. But
no, we take them. We put the H's on them. They give me the shirt. I'll get the H on it.
Got it. Deal.
Oh,
I always say when I grew up, I want to be just like Charlie Iona and be able to afford those kinds of shirts every single Friday. And I own 2H. You'll see tomorrow. Everybody will see me with the green shirt tomorrow, but you'll see tomorrow it has stripes, so it's a different shirt.
Nice.
It's not the same shirt. It's not the same shirt. I was kind of hoping you'd have some memorabilia tomorrow, but we'll catch up. And by the way, Coach, if anyone wants to purchase UH volleyball or football, any type of UH memorabilia, is there a place you can go online?
Yeah, I mean, through HawaiiAthletics.com. I know they're selling some national championships shirts through the bookstore. I was told they put them up literally as the last ball fell. And I don't think anyone's bringing merchandise to sell. I know that they are bringing some gift bags of some UH gear that they're going to be handing out to the crowd. But you can always go through the UH website of HawaiiAthletics.com, or the Manoa bookstore has stuff that you can purchase online as well.
It's a great way to support UH program. I mean, I tell you, man, we're excited, we're proud of our UH and especially of our volleyball national championship team, coach. And I tell you, man, we're just so excited for you and for the team, and looking forward to next year. Warren, any closing thoughts for Coach?
No, not for the coach. I mean, hard for anybody to give advice to a national championship coach. But one thing I do want to say is that the entire island came out, and we were able to just. I sent out a bunch of emails, and immediately, got tons of sponsors. All the way from the Kikaha Agricultural Association, thanks to Charlie's boss, and many other Kauai businesses. So all of those people coming together will make tomorrow a great success. So we hope that you guys turn out. And for Mel, maybe you got to go to bed early and, training table tonight, get ready to take on the guys tomorrow.
I was all prepared, Warren. I had the ice bath ordered for tomorrow when I got home. We had everything ready, and then Charlie told me today that it was off. I'm kind of I'll maybe go find me another. Warren, how about you? You want to partner with me, Warren, tomorrow?
No, thank you.
Hey, I got to say too, look how appreciative we are to Warren, everybody, Grove Farm, and just the number of people in the community that have stepped us to bring it over. We really feel that Kauai is a part of our success and a part of our journey. We've been over there a couple different times, and it really is one of the experience that our guys have had that have helped us understand really more clearly that how important what we do is to everyone in the state. We talk about it, but when we get an opportunity to go to the neighbor island and to, again, see those faces and see how appreciative the kids are when we do a clinic and the fans are when we come and play, it really does resonate with our guys. And it is one of the things that continues to motivate them. It's why they only take a couple of days off and they're back in the gym, lifting and working to put the best product out and be the best they can and represent the state to the best they can. So thank you to Warren and everything that's gone on to bringing us over, not just this time. It's going to be great to see fans and celebrate, but I mean, really throughout the years, like I said, our Kauai is a part of our program and certainly been a part of our success story.
Well, you got a lot of fans. I will mention my wife's Auntie Dane. She watches our show every single night that we're on, and she asked my wife to ask me to make sure I get a picture of you and the team that's on Kauai tomorrow for her. So Auntie Dane, you heard me, and I'm sure Coach Charlie, Coach Wade
come
will
take a picture with me.
We're trying to get her to come by. We're trying to get her to come by. Auntie Dane, you heard the coach invite you personally to come take a picture with him alone.
I'm bringing the trophy too. I'm bringing the trophy. We can take a picture with the trophy together.
Auntie Dane, how are you going to pass that up?
Come on, Auntie.
She's such a huge UH fan, her and her husband, and we love them dearly. And we're gonna try and see if we can get her down there, even if it's for a little while, just to say hello and get that picture. Charlie, any closing thoughts, Charlie, before we head off?
Well, I do want to say, and again, this is a reflection of just the acceptance of the culture. I've been in awe when I see every single game, win or lose, when the team says aloha, they do their ritual, they do the shaka signs to everybody, and they always have this fan base group of kupunas in the stands, and whether it's the girls, they'll go up and they'll give each kupuna a kiss. And to me, I get touched every time I see that. I said, man, that's what you call being connected. And
So
I just,
yeah,
yeah,
those young ladies affectionately referred to as the aunties, right? They're there.
right.
So I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this, but there is a commercial that's going to come out maybe within a week, maybe less. We had we were in the arena a week or so ago and really making an effort to was asked if we'd participate in a get out the vaccine campaign. So there's going to be a commercial coming with the aunties and myself and a couple of the players. I think you're gonna laugh. It's it's pretty funny. But they are very, very special, and we're we're so blessed to have their support and have them in our lives.
Good. So my closing thoughts is, first of all, I'd like to send a special shout out and thanks to Coach Charlie Wade and Grove Farms big boss, Mr. Warren Haruki. Thank you so much for, bringing this forth, Warren, and thank you for being on tonight, Coach Wade. And to our viewers, I can remember when growing up playing football at Kamehameha, junior, freshman ball, whatever. And then we also had the opportunity when Hawaii had one of their first pro football teams, which was the Hawaiian War. I believe it was the Hawaiian Warriors.
The
And we
Hawaiians.
had
The
the
Hawaiians.
Hawaiians. That's right. And it was just, I mean, if you get that excitement and just to watch them practice on the field, you just see mountains moving around. And so now you're going to get this opportunity to see the national champs in person. I think it's going to stick with you for a long time. So I encourage everybody, please come out and the weather is predicted to be a great day tomorrow. So if you're going to come out, please at least wear a hat because it's going to be a little warm. But I know there'll be a lot of cool drinks, water, soft drinks, and all that'll be out there. So please just take good care while the sun is over you. Mel?
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Coach. Man, I tell
Anytime,
you, huh?
anytime.
Oh yeah, I mean I mean honored, man, just to have you on. Warren, again, another example of this. Warren Haruki has been with our community for so long. He does so much that goes unrecognized. I want to just say thank you, Warren, for all that you do for Kauai and for our state, for getting tonight for making tonight possible with Coach Wade. This will be one of my most memorable shows simply because I am like Charlie, Uncle Charlie. I am in awe watching the championship, watching it go down. Felt like I, was there, although we weren't, and it's a special night for us. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person tomorrow, Coach. Getting that photo for Auntie Dane. Hopefully, I can get Auntie Dane to come. But appreciate you guys, Coach. Good luck in the upcoming season. Warren, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And viewers, Fui Park, 10 o'clock. Stop by, come eat, and meet the coach and the players, guys. You guys take care. Stay safe. God bless.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.